Dating can feel overwhelming and stressful, especially if you don't know what you're doing wrong. Maybe you struggle to get dates, or when you do, they end up going nowhere. Trust me, I have been there. I have been there before. And I can say right now, most issues in dating and relationships come from patterns and mistakes people don't realize they're doing. Today, I want to break down 6 dating mistakes that keep most people stuck and how to fix them to start seeing results. Mistake number 1 is not taking enough action. One of the biggest mistakes people make is playing it safe, either by never putting themselves out there or by giving up too quickly. For many, dating struggles come down to simply a lack of volume. If you're not going on enough dates or meeting enough people, you're not giving yourself enough opportunities to improve, learn, and succeed. But if you only take action when you feel like it, you're never going to end up seeing results. I mean, if you think about the gym, if you only went when you felt like it, then you wouldn't get results. You have to go even when you don't feel like it. So what are examples here? See if any of these resonate with you. Maybe you see someone attractive at a coffee shop, but instead of saying anything, you overthink it, talk yourself out, and let the opportunity pass. Maybe you match with a few people on a dating app, but after a few dry conversations or unanswered messages, you stop using it altogether. Maybe you tell yourself you'll start dating once you get in better shape, once work slows down, or once you feel more confident. Months and years go by and you're still in the same place because you keep waiting for the perfect time. So what are actionable goals that we can set here? Well, if you're a guy, you can set a goal of, I will approach X number of women per week. Maybe you set a dating goal. I will go on X number of dates per month. Or a social goal. I will say yes to events and environments where I can meet people. Again, it is a volume game, so we have to increase our volume even when we don't feel like it. The key mindset shift here is, instead of viewing rejection or bad dates as failures, just see them as reps. Each one makes you better, sharper, and more experienced. The more chances you take, the better your results will be. Mistake number 2, not being intentional. Many people struggle in dating because they don't have a clear idea of what they want. Instead of being intentional, you just go with the flow, hoping things will work out. But without clear standards, you risk ending up in an unfulfilling or unhealthy relationship. Again, just because you end up with someone does not guarantee it's going to be a fulfilling or healthy relationship. So be intentional. I don't believe that successful relationships are just luck. They happen because both people choose wisely from the start. Putting in extra effort now up front will save you from years of stress, wasted time, and avoidable heartbreak. So what are examples here that you can check to see if you do this? You start dating someone casually, assuming things will just fall into place. But months later, you start to realize that they don't want the same things as you, wasting time on something that was never going to work. Maybe you get into a relationship based on attraction alone, ignoring red flags. Maybe you continue dating someone just because they're around, even though you know they're just not what you're looking for. So what can we do about this? Let's write down the exact qualities and values that you need and want in a partner and rank them in order. You're not gonna have everything, but rank what's most to least important. Also write down your non-negotiables. What's an example of this? Well, for example, I want kids in the future. So if they do not want kids, I'm not going to continue wasting time with them, which also means that we have to commit to walking away. If any of my non-negotiables aren't met, I will walk away regardless of how strong the chemistry is. I think this is a trap that a lot of people get stuck in. You have very strong chemistry, but you're not willing to walk away even though they don't have the traits you really truly need. And then just make sure you're asking these questions early on about their values and relationship goals so you can avoid wasting time. So really the key mindset shift here is that a great relationship doesn't just happen. It's the result of choosing wisely from the start. Instead of trying to fix a bad relationship, start by making better choices. 3, romanticizing dating. Many people believe relationships should feel instant and effortless. If there's no immediate chemistry or the first sign of conflict, they assume it's just not meant to be. Romanticizing dating creates unrealistic expectations and leads to constant disappointment. Examples of what this could look like. Maybe you meet someone great, but because the connection doesn't feel exciting right away, you assume they're not the right match, when in reality, attraction can grow as you get to know them. Another here is you assume the right person will just come into your life naturally, so you don't make any effort to meet new people, expecting fate will just take care of it. Again, Going back to mistake number 1, taking action. At the first sign of an argument or misunderstanding, you start questioning everything instead of realizing that healthy relationships still have disagreements and require communication and compromise. What's a solution for this? Well, a lasting relationship isn't just about chasing intense emotions, it's about building a strong foundation over time. Don't write someone off just because the first interaction felt a little awkward. After every date, compare the person you went on a date with to your list of values and relationship priorities. If they align with what you truly want, even if there wasn't an instant spark, you should give it another chance. Go on a second date with them and see them again. So really the key mindset shift here is that strong relationships aren't built on chemistry alone, but shared values and effort. Mistake number 4, being too picky about the wrong things. Having standards is important, but many people prioritize superficial traits over qualities that actually lead to a fulfilling relationship. So you're just prioritizing the wrong things. For example, what does this look like? Maybe you reject people based on appearance, income, or social status, ignoring qualities that actually make for a great long-term partner. Maybe they have values and qualities you like in a long-term partner, but because they didn't hit these superficial traits, you write them off. Or you refuse to date someone who doesn't meet your ideal height, body type, or career level, yet you repeatedly invest in people who are inconsistent, avoidant, or don't prioritize you. It is astonishing the amount of people who will raise their standards for superficial traits, and then your standards go out the window when it comes to treatment. How do they treat you? You're totally prioritizing this the wrong way. You need to raise your standards for treatment and be a little bit more lenient on these superficial traits. What's a solution here? Well, 1, you can say, I will identify my non-negotiables based on values, character, and emotional health rather than superficial traits. Look at your list. Are there any superficial traits on there? If they are, maybe you should deprioritize those. The next here is, I will reflect on whether I'm rejecting people for minor reasons that don't impact long-term compatibility. So look at your history of people you've rejected and think about the reasons that you did reject them. Are they more superficial traits, or was it for long-term values and goals? Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not saying that chemistry and physical attraction aren't important. They're very important. All I am saying is that you need to determine where that gets prioritized in your list of traits that you're looking for in a long-term partner. Mistake number 5, not working on yourself. The quality of your dating life is directly tied to the quality of your personal growth. If you're not actively improving yourself, you're limiting the kind of people you attract and the relationships you can sustain. Matthew Hussey had this quote that said, healthy behavior won't repel a healthy person. So the opposite of that would be true. Healthy behavior would attract healthy people. So really, we just want to make sure that we're working on ourselves, improving ourselves, so that way we can bring the best version of ourselves to the dating market, so that way we can attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships. What are examples of what this could look like? Maybe you expect someone attractive, ambitious, and emotionally mature, yet you neglect your own fitness, career, or emotional growth. Or maybe you think your dating life is bad because of modern dating culture, apps, or other people's behavior, rather than taking a look in the mirror and looking at areas where you might need to grow. It's a lot easier to point the finger. What can we do here? Well, we want to commit to self-improvement. Something that I do, for example, here is I look at different areas of my life each year and I create goals. So I say, I will save X amount of money per paycheck. I will make X amount of videos per month. I will go to the gym X number of days per week. And by doing this, I am consistently investing in myself and my growth and improvement, and therefore attracting other like-minded individuals. Really, the key mindset shift here is that the more you grow, the better partners you attract and the healthier your relationships will be. And then last, but certainly not least, mistake number 6 is settling. Many people settle due to dating exhaustion, social pressure, or fear of not finding someone better. They convince themselves that good enough is enough, even if it doesn't align with what they truly want. This ties to mistake number 4. Remember, I told you being too picky about the wrong things. But this is the other side of that coin. The key is to hold firm on core values and long-term compatibility, but let go of those minor preferences that don't impact lasting relationships, right? So you want to make sure that you're being realistic, but also don't settle. What are examples of what this might look like? Maybe you're not fully excited about your partner, but since dating has been so frustrating, you convince yourself to keep going even when the connection feels forced. Or how many of you have dealt with rejection and bad experiences, so you start accepting behaviors or traits that you know aren't right for you just to avoid going back into the dating pool? Or maybe in past relationships, you were with someone for so long because you've already invested so much energy into them, even though they're not making you happy. You think, well, I've already invested all this time and energy, why leave now? This is a cost sunk fallacy, which I actually talk about in another video. So what's the solution here? It's really sticking to our true core values, saying, I will not settle for a relationship that doesn't align with my non-negotiables and long-term values. Again, remember, I pointed this out earlier. Walking away sooner when you realize those non-negotiables are not being met. Settling isn't just about who you choose, it's also about why you're afraid to leave. If you're realizing that you might be in a relationship that doesn't truly fulfill you, the next question is, should you stay or should you walk away? That's why I made a full video on why people hesitate to leave relationships and how to reframe these doubts so that they don't control your decisions. And you can watch that right here.